Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about I didn't feel like a priority. Well, feeling like a priority is a big component of being in a commitment or a romantic relationship with somebody. And some of you out there are regretting not making your partner feel like a priority before the breakup. And some of you may be in situations where you didn't feel like a priority leading up to the breakup or in the relationship. It's not a good feeling, because when you're committed to somebody, you want to feel like they're invested in you, that you're important to them, that you're important in general, and that they want to show you with their behavior. And you're looking to see that they're showing you with their actions, with their words, that you care about how they feel, what they want, and of course you want that for yourself with them. So you want to make sure that you show a partner that you care about how they feel and what they want. But I think what happens over time is we really take each other for granted. I think one of the big pitfalls of relationships is believing that the other person won't leave or that they should stay with you. Sometimes people get really upset when they say things like, if you don't love me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Well, is there some truth to that? Maybe. But overall, I take a look at that and I also think, but how much effort were you making? You know what I mean? Sometimes people are going through difficult things in life, like a loss of a friend or parent or a loved one, and maybe something stressful with work or health issues. Those things come up, of course. But other than that, are you really prioritizing your partner? Because if you continually ignore their needs, what they want, how they feel, you're going to wind up in a breakup. And maybe you're not even going to find yourself accountable for the mistakes that you made. And I always think it's important to consider the other person's feelings and how you were showing up and the areas that you struggled or maybe weren't living up to their expectations. So you got to stay doing the work. Otherwise, people will leave you. Okay? So when you don't feel like a priority, a lot of things can happen, right? Separation anxiety can happen because maybe you're feeling like the less they're invested, the more likely they're going to leave you. And it's possible, right? That's why you have to do the work on yourselves. This is why we have the creative healing course and the workbooks. So you can really work through these things and get to a really good place where you can try and figure out, is it me? Is it them? And you're more balanced in trying to ascertain what the problem really is or who the problem really is, right? And fix it, because you got to be able to do something about it. So this email coaching that I have today is from a guy in his mid-30s, and his girlfriend is in her early 30s. Now, he says they weren't living together, and they started dating in the fall of 2021. Now, they broke up around the end of 2022. He said the major problems of the relationship were his anxious attachment style, which often tricked me into feeling like I was no priority for her. Okay, that's big. This is why I tell you guys, you've got to do the work. The Creative Healing Course will really help you on this. It's very therapeutic. I have to go back and look at how many activities are in there, but I'm sure it's well over 100. And it's not just the same thing. It was meant to be fun and broken up into a lot of different things. Art therapy, cartoons, audio affirmations, whiteboard videos, all different things to keep it interesting and to keep you going in a direction that you're staying motivated, right? To work on your issues like this anxious attachment style. He said, and she was keeping distance, as well as her indeed distant behavior some of the time, and especially in the last month of the relationship. Okay. So, was she distanced throughout this relationship or at the last month when she was probably already checked out for whatever reason? Let's find out. Even after reflecting the relationship now, I still can justify some of the things I criticized about the relationship, but by far not all of them. So he's starting to recognize that maybe the things that were upsetting him were not as important as it felt to him in that moment. And that is insecurities coming up through your unconscious, bubbling through. Okay? Got to be aware of those things. Okay, about the middle of December, she was at a party and did not text me after she got home, although she knew this was important to me. Okay, so some people like to have their partner tell them when they get home, and some people find that kind of annoying and frustrating. Like they just want to go home, go to sleep, not constantly feel like they're answering to somebody. So if he's maybe anxious that she's going to cheat on him, maybe that's part of the reason he wants a message. Hey, let me know when you got home, right? So you can't be out with somebody else. That's insecurities. I'm not saying that's necessarily what he's doing, but some people do that. She did post on Instagram when she got home, so I knew she was on her phone. Uh-oh. You're on your phone and you're not messaging me? You know what that feels like to me? Attachment trauma. This feels like an early attachment wound. When somebody gets that upset, you could almost feel it viscerally. Just as I read it, right? You probably could feel it, right? She didn't post on she posted on Instagram when she was home, so I knew she was on her phone. I knew it. It's not easy to regulate those things, right? So what happens? Do you blow up? Do you get angry? Well, how come you didn't text me? Where are you at? What are you doing? Or do you just say, hey, you know, the other night you didn't text me when you got home and I just kind of worried for a while, and see what they say to that. She was showing similar behavior, especially in the last month of the relationship, and this situation triggered me into breaking up. I feel like I should have some music right now. Dun, 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 right behind me. We had agreed that I would come to her place on a certain day. When I arrived, I told her, this is not working for me anymore. Now, when he said it, do you think he really meant it? I don't. He was upset and he was angry, but he really wanted her to be like, no, I care about you so much. Please, I'll do anything. But when you're not in the right state of mind, you're going to say something you don't mean, right? He didn't really want to break up. I don't think so. He was just struggling with his anxiety and uncertainty, and he was being, I don't know if he was aggressive, but passive-aggressive, because I don't think it's really what he wanted. She burst into tears and told me that she does not know what is wrong with her currently and why she's behaving like this. Probably, my best guess right now, just from what I've read, is that she wasn't feeling a strong attraction to him. And I would guess that it's because of his insecure attachment issues coming out in his behavior. I started to regret my decision instantly. There we have it. Now, I read this email coaching probably about a month ago or so. I don't recall. I tend to take something and put it aside for you guys, and then we film. I have a bunch of stuff ready to go. So I don't usually know what is going on in the email coaching ahead of time. But I could feel it, right? You could feel it. That's why I could sense he didn't really mean it. She asked to stay with me for the night, which I did. We agreed that we both process the situation and talk again in a week. As she did not contact me, I texted her about 5 days later to see if she still wanted to talk. So he didn't even wait the week. That's that anxiety. Believe me, I've been in there in my life. I used to be anxious, more anxious, and I've done a lot of work through that, so I can recognize, each day that goes by, it's like killing him, right? She did not answer to that, and I texted her again saying that I regret my decision and I want to fix this. Okay, so he's put that out there. He's told her how he feels, And now you gotta kind of let her reciprocate when she's ready. Do you think he's gonna do it? I don't know. Let's see. What do you think? Make your prediction. I'm not gonna read. I'm gonna say that he reaches out again before she replies, but I'm on the fence. We then had a call in which she told me, see, we don't know. We don't know now. We then had a call. He doesn't say who reached out to who. That she loves me, understands my decision to break up, but does not know if she can change her behavior or fix this. I'm already feeling like she's got an avoidant attachment style. She's not understanding what's going on with her. She's probably feeling suffocated and trapped by his behavior. And, a lot of times avoidance in these moments are like, I don't think that I have a problem. I like the way that I am. I don't know if I can do something about this. She wanted to stay friends and also asked with a fearful voice if I would go no contact now. Okay, so she was kind of in that moment thinking he might go no contact at me, which is rare. I don't usually have people say that at the breakup. I told her that I will not contact her again, but she can contact me if she wants to talk about us. In a week moment, 2 days later, so we don't know if he cracked on the previous one, but he cracked this time, right? We're not sure if that phone call he cracked and reached out, but he definitely cracked and reached out here, right? And that was only 2 days later. I sent her a message saying that I have trouble accepting the breakup. And she responded that we are too different and this would always cause issues. That's another thing I hear avoidants say, that we're too different. I hear that more from avoidants. Also, you're having trouble accepting the breakup. We need her to be the one that's having trouble accepting the breakup. I was so hurt by that message. It feels like another early attachment trauma, right? You may have heard me say, where there's drama, look for trauma. Or where there's trauma, look for drama. Here we have it. I was so hurt by that message. I mean, think about what she said. I'm reviewing the message here. We're too different and this would always cause issues. It's not a very hurtful thing to say, to be honest. But when you're particularly that sensitive and get that emotionally worked up, that to me is an early wound right there. I was so hurt by the message that I didn't respond. I deleted it and I removed her on social media. Here's that music again. Dun, dun, dun. Right? You got really upset here. And this just goes to show your insecurities and it's going to turn her off. And this is why I tell you got to do the work. Do the creative healing course 30 minutes a day or the workbooks 30 minutes a day. You got to sit down and commit to those things. And the more you do, the more likely you're going to get centered and you're not going to get triggered by things. A day later, I regretted this impulsive behavior. Of course he did. He calmed down. He slept on it and he thought to himself probably, oh man, what did I do? Uh-oh, what's going to happen? You think he's going to wait for her? He's already told her, leave me alone, or reach out to me if you change your mind. And he's already reached out and told her he's had trouble accepting the breakup. I still had some of her stuff in my apartment. So now I'm going to use that as an excuse to contact her. You think that's what he does? Let's see. Which I sent to her together. Oh, he didn't contact her, but he does. With a handwritten note. Is it the letter? Let's see. Saying that I'm sorry for how all of this went, that we both made mistakes in the relationships, and that she can always contact me if she wants to talk about us. All right. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad, okay? Although I wouldn't have just dropped stuff off at her apartment because that can scare people and come across stalkerish. So I definitely wouldn't have done that. So in a way, he couldn't soothe himself, so he had to drop the stuff off, and he really used the stuff as an excuse to drop off the note. That's why he really did it. Because he wanted to apologize for the behavior, thinking she was going to be upset and wouldn't reach out because of the outburst. She received that message at the end of December. Since then, I'm in no contact. I feel really guilty because we had a wonderful relationship and created some beautiful memories. Most of the issues we had were caused by my insecure behavior, triggered by my anxious attachment style, which caused her to lose attraction towards me. So, is no contact the right approach in this situation? Oh, I absolutely. I mean, you've already told her that you didn't feel good about the breakup, or that you didn't want to accept the breakup, whatever it was that you said, and you apologized to her, left a note that said, I'm here if you change your mind. You can't reach out again. You're going to look crazy. You're going to look weak. This woman is going to think, what is wrong with this guy? He's already made it clear several times that he doesn't want to break up and to contact me, but you're not waiting, so you've got to wait. I don't think she felt relief after the breakup, as it hit her by surprise. Maybe the breakup, she felt that way. But I suspect as things progressed and the behavior came out, she probably did get more relieved by it. And I don't want to lose her for good. I hope you can help me with this. Well, right now, she probably doesn't think things are going to change. Her feelings towards you, she doesn't understand why she's unattracted to you. She didn't say it, but I think that's a big part of what's going on. I do think she's avoidant, and I do think a lot of your anxious behaviors are making her feel like you want more than she can give. It's too much for her. It's too overwhelming. And until you get yourself more centered, you wouldn't be a good fit for her. She's right. Because you're constantly going to feel triggered, get angry, have these outbursts. Because you've had quite a few here. And I suspect you probably have a bunch of behaviors that you were doing in the relationship that you weren't aware of. So you got to work through those things. And you got to give her time to miss you, to think about things, and to reconsider what it's going to be like without you. You need her to start to wonder if the breakup was a bad idea, and for her to miss you. And all those things can happen. But I can sense if you don't work through your anxiety, you would cause her to feel a lot of pressure, and it would just scare her away again. You're going to have to be really centered to be with her. And that means not just in the beginning, but being centered the entire relationship. Now, what most people do is they give up on the personal growth when they get their ex back, and then 5-6 months later, they start going back to their old habits, and their ex leaves them again. And then we're doing a call, and they're telling me, I wish I had done the work. Don't let that be you. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that's sending me a success story, telling me that even though it was difficult, you stayed centered, you had emotional self-control, you stuck to the plan that we had or had for your situation, and now things are going great. Do the work. It pays off regardless. That's the great thing about doing emotional work and working through your own attachment issues and stuff like that, and learning to be a better partner. Because even if they don't come back, all of those skills are going to come up and help you for the rest of your life. All right? So stay motivated, everybody. And hopefully this has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.